Good day, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. NFP day today. We've got a nice big candle, and now as you guys can see, we are just moving sideways. I've marked out the fair value gap here to explain to people why you shouldn't trade in the range, and this is exactly the reason. Price is just going nowhere, so I'm taking that out because I'm not going to use that. One thing I want to show you guys, before NFP, we've marked out this equal highs. Price was here, it shot right through it and then created a nice range for us. Okay, so now we've got liquidity magnet here and a liquidity magnet here. Alright, so market's opening soon, so let's see. Make sure everything is working fine. Yeah. Alright. Let me see. Yeah. Alright, let's see if we go in here. Alright, sorry guys, I'm just making sure everything works on my end. Got 2 minutes till market open, so nothing's happened yet, so all good. Market opens on. Alright, so okay, so let's do it this way. Alright, so this is where we are. Nothing to do yet. I mean, just nothing to do yet. Alright, so I've tested everything. It seems like everything's working fine. Now let's see what happens. I want to see where the market's going first. Maybe the market's going higher first and then lower, or other way around. We'll have to wait and see. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, let's see. We've got a little bit of a move there. Remember the magnets are on both sides of this candle. Remember at one stage we induce everybody saying we go long, and then boom, we're going short, and then come consolidate in the middle. Now we've got breakout traders and people with the stops on both sides, so now we just need to go and manipulate people to go in a direction and then take the market into a different direction. Right, so as you can see, I'm taking this off. And now it's important to see what do we do from here. So one thing I've already picked up is we've got this nice big fair value gap. Now what we want to see at this point, if we see an immediate reversal to not to this candle, let it finish first, and then see an immediate inversion, I'm most probably going to look to short it to take it to this side. Something to also keep in mind, these lows is also liquidity. Again, something we've been talking about this whole week is it's a high, lower high, a lower, a higher low, and this again just forms it is not a perfect trend line, but it forms some sort of thing where people see we're breaking higher and expect price to go higher. So what I'm expecting here is price to come back into this fair value gap, not to invert it, not to invert the first one. And the reason for that is we made a higher low, a new higher low, and then a break of structure. In a retail world, we want to see that OTE or that 61% retracement or whatever that is, and then go higher. My eyes is going to go to this high as next liquidity, because I want to see this form a higher low and then go up again. For people to say it's definitely a solid type of thing. This thing can come all the way down here and then go up. But as long as it's creating that idea of, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, and it goes higher, 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 and eventually it's going to turn. So all we got to do is sit patiently and wait for when it turns. So you wouldn't do anything here because there's another fair value gap here. And let's see, what time is this? 30. Sorry guys, I just need to see something quick. That's a gap, so we've got a nice gap here. So we could see this gap get filled and go down to this NFP low. I know there's a low here, there's a range here. Don't worry about those things. It's important to mark these out and say that's what we're going to target here. So what I wanted to see is, so this is the first fair value gap, because that's 30, 31, 32. Alright, so this is the first fair value gap, that's the purple one, right? And it's an important fair value gap. It normally plays a support role or resistance. Alright, so for me this is a liquidity level, and I want to see what price does here. There's a fair value gap that's going to get inverted now, which is good. My problem is I don't know if we're going to go or bounce from here to go higher. That's my biggest issue here. And this one is a blue one because this is just a fair value gap. And as you can see, nice rejection out of that. Kept us out of trouble. Now we want to see what we do with the new highs. And again, if you take this low to this high, you did not get close to any 50% here. Right, let's see. Okay, so now we've got a new possible new fair value gap. Let's just see if it holds. Make this bigger so we can focus on it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that one's out. This is big high. Now what we need to do is we need to make sure if we invert this, we're actually going to go through this. The only way you're going to know that is for price to come through it, test it, and then take a short. That's the only problem here. Okay, let's see. The reason why I wouldn't say this is a A+ setup yet, because of we created this fair value gap and it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're already on the 6th candle. We haven't inverted it. My candle count is got to be less than 6 candles, maximum 6 to invert in order for me to say yes. The less candles it takes to invert, the better. But if it's just cruising there and not doing anything and threaten to do something and then go back, then just leave it and see, keep it on the next high. Because this could just be a little bit of pullback and we could see another push up into this high now. And what would be nice if you see a strong candle creating that fair value gap and then immediately get rejected. That would be a nice entry for you to take with good conviction. You already know where to go next, and it's down here. I mean, we can even go to this 22,000 level. I don't know. So what we need to do then is look at the 4 hours, just a quick one, and see where those equal highs are. Okay, so equal highs are sitting here at just over 22,000, 22,100. So maybe that's where we go. Alright guys, if you just joined, don't forget to pop in the comments below where you're from so I can see who's watching. It'd be great if you can just pop a like on the video as well, or the stream. Right, so basically what we can see here now, what's happening is price just accumulate, or yeah, just going to move sideways for a bit till it gives us almost like a manipulation into a direction. And those of you who don't know, the strategy on big red folder days is NFP formed that nice spike to the top and the nice spike to the low. So basically what happened here is this is telling everybody we are going long. People, breakout traders, everybody goes long and then switch around and then take all the breakouts to the bottom and then get stuck in the middle here. So there is stops and everything on both sides of that wick. So all you got to do now is wait for price to take out the one side of the wick. It was pretty aggressive, and now the manipulation will start to say, all right guys, we made a lower, a higher low, a higher low, a higher high, and now higher low, and then just induce them to go long again and then form that inverted fair value gap where we will take our short and then we'll ride it all the way down to the NFP low. So I think because that equal highs is sitting here from this 22,000 level up, 22, 21, 20, 22,000, 22,100. So we might go all the way there or just stopped here. I don't know. We'll just have to see and wait. This purple fair value gap, that's your first fair value gap after 9:30, and that's normally a very important one. Normally holds price. So I expect some bounce here and then go back up there and then see us going down. But remember, the market's never perfect, as much as we want it to be. It's always good to play out the scenario up front, and then then it's good if it plays out that way, then you know. But I mean, the minute you start saying this is what needs to happen and price smacks down here, okay, well then what you're saying is not valid anymore, and that thinking is not valid. Then you need to immediately recess and see if what you're saying is right or wrong. So what I see here now is we see a high, a lower low, a lower high, lower low, lower high, and then down here, and then we can see that bounce to take that liquidity out and then see the reverse. think the key thing here is to be patient, and that's what we're doing. Looking at my other charts, don't see anything changing yet. Still sideways. I normally like the NFP days because it always gives you a nice big candle and something to test and to play with. Obviously make money, but understand how it's actually pricing, and then, you know, if it plays out the way you said, then I mean that's also good. The other thing that I looked at earlier was this opening gap here, down here, and I think if we go down here and then just below, so we got to fill this gap and go through it to go to the NFP low. It doesn't have to be today, guys. I still think we'll do it today because or maybe not. We'll see. I always get it wrong when I predict too far ahead. Let's just do what's in front of us. If it gives us the right obviously setup, then we'll give it a go. One thing to keep an eye on, just as an observation, I'm not gonna play too much about this, but this fair value gap is holding price at 50%. See how the bodies, the wicks are going through it, but the bodies is holding above that 50%, which is great, which is still a bullish sign, right? And now we almost creating this, you know, for people that trades trend lines, they will see this as a down push. So it'd be nice to see this down push for these lows here to spike in here and then reverse to run that high and then come back. So that would be a nice short scalp there to these lows. I'll show you. Up. See that white wick? We spiked through it, and then we close. I don't even know if we closed below that low. No, it didn't. Okay, so that's not a. It's not a valid. So this white candle here, it would be nice to see the black candle do the high and then close below that wick. The next candle, if it tests that wick and you've got reason to believe that it will go down, that's a good scalp. Like in this case here, this black candle, we have reason to believe that we'll go higher here. So we close above it, we test the wick here, and then, I mean, you don't have to wait for it to run all the way to scalp. Try to take quick 10 points or something. Right, it is, what time is this now? So we're in the macro time now, 9:50 to 10 past 10. That's the macro time. And that's normally when you'll see liquidity gets grabbed and direction. So we still got time here. Look, this thing could shoot through and just keep running higher. So that's just the nature of this. But let's mark this all out. Liquidity. That's also liquidity. Liquidity. I use my fair value gaps and inverted fair value gaps as support and resistance levels. That's how I make it. Retail would do it differently. Well, most people do it differently, but in my opinion, that's probably one of the best ways to find real support, and that 50% there, that's a support level for me. And now we see this liquidity that build up with lower highs, and now we're going to see some sort of a push to the upside. Just give me a second. Right. See, the other thing is we get a white candle breakthrough. You know, that's a trend line break, and people normally buy on that test. And this could now, and look at this, these highs. Oh, sorry, these lows. That's higher. That's higher, higher, higher. So it keeps going higher. Creates this trend line. That's where people put their stops. So everybody who brought this breakout of this trend line, stops would be down here. They get stopped out, everybody gets wiped out, and we might see some test in here and then run back up. Alright, so let's see if we're actually gonna take this last low into this first fair value gap. Again guys, I'm not selling this fair value gap yet. And there we go, aggressively spiked through it, as you can see. And I'm not, because there's like a million candles inverting this. And it could quite easily go invert right back up again. And that's why I'm not taking it. Could be wrong, but that's not the type of trade I would take. If we keep moving down here, that's fine. Then I'll wait for a test on this fair value gap or something, this first fair value gap. Look at something, yeah. Okay, so we're below 50% now. It's at that 50% of that first fair value gap. If we see a close back above here, I think we'll go up there. But we'll see. If we break lower, then we'll see. We'll just see. Alright, so looks like we're going down. Remember, anything up here is still premium to sell down to this NFP low. So I haven't closed below this first fair value gap yet, so we could go all the way back up, or we can just drop, test, drop. But let's see. Sometimes you miss a move when it comes all ugly like this and then gradually invert and gradually works its way down. And that's not the type of trade you eagerly want to get into. Rather sit and wait till you get a proper indication that, yeah, we might go down. Let's just keep an eye on it. Then you get something big like that, and then we say we missed everything, every single entry, and that's unfortunate, guys. I mean, we knew there was liquidity on this side. We worked our way there. I was hoping to see some sort of a liquidity grab before, or manipulation up before we obviously get some good entry. I would not take this trade again. Even if it played out again, people might say, but you inverted this fair value gap. Okay, we didn't test it, and there's another fair value gap, much bigger one here, and there's reason to believe where price could go higher. So, but the thing I can tell you guys now is, because we left these liquidities here, we've run this one now. I would look to see if I can find reason to buy up there, but I don't have any reason right now with this momentum. I don't think we're going to go straight up there. I think we might go lower, and unfortunately, I mean, really looking, so these lows could be the next targets. Just one of those things. And if it plays out like this, I mean, I would sit and look for a scalp to see if I can pull some money out of the market, but I won't jump in here because I feel like I'm missing the boat or anything. But I think the main thing here today is we knew there was liquidity on both sides of that candle. We went to the one side and we expected to go to the other side, which we did. And we unfortunately just didn't get a good entry. Like they say, it's not over till it's over. So let's see. Okay. Take these things off. Did what it had to do. We take the high to there. We could easily come back into this fair value gap up here. Come on. I think the bottom line is not going to give us anything to enter on. Unless we see some sort of pullback into here, and then we can target those lows. But again, guys, don't force it. It's Friday, NFP. I mean, this setup played out, so I mean, I'm here because I'm streaming this. I will keep an eye on it on a normal day, but because it's already played out, I'm not too keen on anything further, unless PM or PM session would give us some nice equal lows and pull back and then run it or something. I'm just going to jump to an hour and see. That's where we're going. And the reason I say that, that's the low that did not fill the gap on this fair value gap. And I think that's where we're going. If we're going down, that's where we're going. That's going to be the target. And as you can see, yes, there's the target. Nice to get some sort of a, I don't know, test up into this fair value gap, and then some sort of entry to sell further. That's obviously not deep enough for me, that pullback. Let's see, where is that? I mean, you got to take it from the swing point. See, this 50% lines up with this fair value gap. So we're gonna have to see some sort of a pullback into here. Let's see quickly this gap. See, we've closed this gap completely. Let's see if it's going to give us anything. I wonder if we're ever gonna pull back to that. Maybe that's something that's gonna sit around into the PM session. Okay, let's see. So there's something to take a short in. The problem is you don't want to take a short here. You're so low. The minute I take my short here, it's gonna retrace all the way to there. It's going to that target. So is that fair value gap and target to at least at 50% smash into as we discussed earlier. So maybe we get a return or reversal here to go back up, or maybe we just keeps dropping. Okay, let's see what it's planning to do here. Little gap up here. Okay, let's see. Maybe we'll see a test up here. Liquidity down here, definitely. So I think if you get some sort of an entry to go short here, I'll probably try something to go down there. Let me try it at this level. And then if we get it, we target this low and see if it's actually a good trade. If we break this low, I'll just cancel this trade if it haven't picked me up yet. See, now it's going to close below that. We'll see. I thought we'll get the pullback higher. All this is doing now, guys, it's giving people shorts, but at the worst price ever. Even this one, if you take a short here, it might go there, but at the worst place ever. This thing could easily pop right back up here, stop all these people out, and then potentially go for these highs again. Obviously this trade here is paper trades, and it's not any advice or anything, so it's not real money. Okay, so now it picked us up. Now I want this thing to go short. So all we need is that little gap to get tested, and we'll take $2,000 off, and this might even go lower. So I'll put a $3,000 out. Building up liquidity here. Actually gonna see if we can go down there. And then we're gonna reverse, and then I'm gonna be like, why don't I take the trade? Let's do this at 21,699. Just leave it there. I do think we want to go down there, but I don't want to get caught with a trade because of this low deep discount shorts. This is a more premium short, but this hasn't, so this could easily go all the way up here. So the thing here is, so we out of discount, this black candle closed below this wick. So it's permissible for this to go in there, but then I want to see a push down and not a push up. Maybe I want to go into there to take this highs out and then come down, and then it created this trend line. Or we go all the way up, which will be silly. Can you believe this? Like I said, should have taken the money. Insane guys. Right, we close above that blue. I'm out of this trade. One of those days where we go all the way to liquidity, turn around and go somewhere else. Push them down, go raid all of these guys. Gosh. This trade is painful. Alright, I'm getting ready to jump out of this paper trade because my paper trade account is getting crushed. But I'm just collapsing that trade there, guys. Not worth holding that because I think this is where we're going to go to. Creating nice equal high lows. If it crashed down now, I'm going to be livid. But first signs here, guys, was low pullbacks. Low pullbacks, no good. And this started creeping in, should have left it. But I guess that's how I learn. That's how we learn. There's liquidity up here, nice big fair value gaps. Might see this go in there. And we'll see. Alright, so I think this is where I'm probably going to stop this live stream, and I'll be back next week, and we'll trade this market again. Next week will be better. This week was crazy, but next week's going to give us more better opportunities. You'll see. And as we speak, we see this nice big black candle. So maybe this thing drops right through the floor now. But anyways, yeah, it's been good this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in my comments, and yeah, watch out for my next stream, and I'll see you guys then. Take care. Bye bye.